This is LeftWink Lightwork coming to you on May 4th, 2020 from Long Beach, California, sharing a daily message for the collective. I am using the Wisdom of the Oracle cards today by Baron-Reid. Beautiful cards, beautiful images, and I'm just asking for Spirit to bring forth those messages most meant for us this week, the first official week of May, full week of May. May started on Friday, but this is our first full week. And so what are the current messages for the collective for May 4, 2020? We have Between Worlds, which makes so much sense because during this lockdown quarantine time, we're really transitioning into a new way of being. Life was put on hold in many ways. Lots of people are out of work, our routines are changing, and as a nation, we are starting to open things back up again in certain states. There's other states, especially high population states, that are going to be opening up things a little bit slower, but ultimately we're really transitioning into a new way of being. What are the new requirements going to be? How are we going to open back up business? What restrictions might there be in place, such as masks, or I know a lot of businesses are installing plexiglass at their registers. So there's a lot of changes happening. And with those changes, there can be a little fear. So really, if we look at the flamingos are very graceful creatures. They don't run, they walk, and they walk very gracefully, and they measure their steps, and they're mindful of their steps that they take. Also, flamingos can stand on both the water and the land. So really we're learning to be adaptable. So adapting during this time from one way of living and being into another. And as you can see, the flamingo is wearing a crown. So really stepping into our empowerment, really maintaining our personal power. And also you see the line in the middle. Over the weekend, I would say the end of last week, coming into this week, a lot of people were faced with boundary issues or situations that came about in your life where you needed to speak your truth and really assert yourself and your boundaries. And that's because we're going through this transition of one way of being to another. We're really starting to resonate with those things that feel better to us and stepping away from those things that don't feel good. So coming from the black and the white and stepping into that color high definition world. As you can see too, on the back of the flamingo, you'll see a hummingbird. And hummingbirds, I believe that the hummingbird is a symbol of joy. I mean, every time you see a hummingbird, you can't help but stop and take a deep breath. They're beautiful creatures. They're so tiny, but they're so intricate. And they have so many details, such as the color in their wings, and they help to pollinate our flowers and make the world a more beautiful place to be. So for us, I think the message of the hummingbird coming into this week is to really think about the ways that we can pollinate the gardens of our lives. So the garden being your personal space. A lot of us are still abiding to stay at home orders. So you're spending a lot more time at home, whether you're working from home or not. Many people are spending more time at home. So how can you pollinate? How can you spread abundance and joy? Not only in your home and with your close family and friends, but how can you also bring that joy and abundance and spread it out into the world? There's a lot of hate, a lot of fear, and just a lot of negative emotions that the collective is purging and releasing as they step into this new way of living and being. So how can you help to spread love and joy while still affirming and asserting yourself and holding fast to your boundaries and communicating those boundaries, but also how can you spread love in the world? So it's a very fine line, as you can see. It's a delicate balance between the old and the new. And as we step out of this old way of being and into a new way, just be compassionate with yourself and know that you're going to make mistakes. We all do. And as much as we want to do and transform into these changes and transition into these changes and do them in the most loving and kind ways, sometimes working out those kinks is uncomfortable. And sometimes we may say or do things that aren't, for the highest good of us or the highest good of others. They may come out the wrong way. We may choose the wrong timing, but ultimately what's important is that you're doing something and that you're really being patient with yourself, that this is a learning process for all of us. And we're all dealing with a lot of stress, and none of us is perfect, and none of us is gonna get this done perfectly, because this is new territory for all of us. We were living in a black and white world, and now we're moving into a high definition, higher vibration energy. The planet itself, the vibration of the planet is ascending, and we're ascending right along with it. And for some of us, this transition is easier than others. But we need to be mindful that for some it is difficult, and just be compassionate with them. But again, compassion starts with ourselves. Be compassionate with yourself. Be patient with yourself as you move into this new way of being and this new way of living. And when you're compassionate with yourself, it's much easier to extend that compassion to others. You're doing your best. I appreciate you. I support you in what you're doing. I love you all. Namaste. Have a great day and a great week. Until next time, thank you for joining us, or thank you for joining me. Okay, bye.